Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. Blizzard has a new president, and it is nobody from Blizzard. It is not a developer. In fact, it's an Activision executive. Let's break all of this down and see what is going on. So come with me, because this is literally breaking news. It's just happened. So Johanna Faries is now the president of Blizzard Entertainment. There is a blog we're going to go over. There's also, I think, a tweet. Yeah, so she's made a tweet. In fact, let's just go through this and let's just break it down. But then what I want to do is take a look at what Johanna has actually done in terms of Call of Duty and where she's kind of come from. Because I think it'll give us an idea as to what will happen, you know, at Blizzard. Obviously, it's all wild speculation what's going to happen at Blizzard, but we can I think we can infer some stuff. So basically, this is what she says. Hi all, today I sent the below note to @Blizzard Entertainment. As for X, I plan to stay in listen mode here, but trust me, I'm tuned in. As for me, a typical day equals work, life, yoga, life, games, life. Currently on heavy rotation, Diablo 4, Call of Duty, Baldur's Gate 3. Feeling blessed and grateful. Onward. Okay, so we've got this, but we'll go through this on the Blizzard website because it's a little bit easier to break down, I think. And there's a picture of her, and then there's another picture doing yoga, I presume, and then there's Diablo. So, okay, Lilith. Okay, great. Okay, good stuff. So, we will come back to this post, actually, because we'll take a look at the responses to what people are sort of saying to this, but it'll probably be positive to begin with. Anyway, this is the Blizzard website, and it says this: introducing Johanna Faries as the new president of Blizzard Entertainment. And this is the note that has been sent out to everybody at Blizzard and has also been slapped on the website for us to take a look at. So, today, the following email was delivered to all Blizzard employees by Johanna Faries, the new president of Blizzard Entertainment. Dear Blizzard, though my official first day with you is February the 5th, I want to let you know immediately that it is an honor to join you next week in this new capacity. I do so humbly and in awe of all that Blizzard has stood for and delivered to the world for over 30 years. Today also brings some mixed emotions. The loss of talented teammates in recent days is hard to hold side by side with the immense excitement I feel about joining Blizzard and building on the momentum you've created for Blizzard's next chapter. So fair enough, a little bit of a nod to what's happened recently. Okay. I want to thank Matt for the introduction, bring some further clarity to today's announcement, and share more about how I see our future together at Blizzard. I understand this is a lot to take in. The news of my appointment may no doubt bring up a range of reactions, questions, and even concerns. And yeah, I mean, the concern before we get into this, I guess, guys, is a lot of us were hoping that Blizzard was going back to its sort of old Blizzard way, where it was a developer-led business, developer-led company, and like the people at the top were intimately involved in producing games, and they knew what the gamers wanted, and that's why we ended up with great products. It wasn't about creating platforms to plug content into over and over and over again, like maybe a corpo exec would want. That's the issue, and we'll get onto that in a second, because yeah, that is basically like we're not getting there's nobody from Blizzard is in charge. I mean, like we said, Johanna's now in charge. She's not from Blizzard. She's not a game developer. So that type of thinking is just totally out of the window. I mean, it was wishful thinking maybe to begin with, naive possibly, but yeah, that's not happening. Anyway, Activision Blizzard King are decidedly different companies with distinct games, cultures, and communities. It is important to note that Call of Duty's way of waking up in the morning to deliver for players can often differ from the stunning games in Blizzard's realm, each with different gameplay experiences, communities that surround them, and requisite models of success. I mean, that is a straight up like, yeah, we know Call of Duty pumps content into games, but we know Blizzard games are different, and you've got all these other different games, and they do stuff differently. So I'm not going to come in and just turn them into Call of Duty, and we're gonna see what happens. But it's not really going into detail, is it? But I suppose it's interesting that it has been at least addressed, even though in the most minimal fashion. But yeah, Blizzard games are different. They're not Activision games, but will they become Activision games? That's the question. Or are they even becoming them? I mean, they have been for a while, right? Just look at what's gone on with Overwatch 2's monetization. Anyway, I digress. I am committed to doing everything I can to help Blizzard thrive. with care and consideration for you and for our games, each unique and special in their own right. Oh, hang on, I don't think I read this, did I? Did I skip over this? I think I might have done. Yeah. I've discussed this with the Blizzard leadership team, and I'm walking into this role with sensitivity to those dynamics and deep respect for Blizzard as we begin to explore taking our universes to even higher heights. We're going to go so high you won't believe it. It's almost like that Mike Ibarra chasing his hyper growth opportunities or whatever the hell he said. The complete pleb. What? Anyway, I'm committed to doing everything I can to help Blizzard thrive with care and consideration for you and our games, each unique and special in their own right. I'm optimistic about our ability to serve our current and future player communities and to further amplify the shared passion for greatness, polish, and creative mastery. That's a hallmark of Blizzard's approach to game making. Okay, all right, okay. Next week, I will be in Irvine, and I'm eager to connect with as many as you as possible. I will be scheduling informal and totally optional meet and greets where I want to hear more from people across the organisation. Those of you who cannot make it to those gatherings or aren't located in Irvine, please feel free to email me. We're also planning a town hall meeting to be held in the near future. You know what? Actually would be really cool if I could talk to the president and let's see what's going to happen. It's never going to happen though. Nobody from Blizz will talk to me. Anyway, let's move on. A few personal facts about me. Number one, my number one job in life is raising my two amazing boys. In addition to parenthood, a typical week for me includes finding time for daily yoga, prayer, and of course playing video games. Big Diablo 4 fan over here. Throughout the joy of finding games and working with those who make them, it only deepens. I remain inspired by Blizzard's iconic legacy and the transformative role gaming has played in my life and the lives of others. I cannot wait to get going and listen to the legendary days ahead. Johanna, okay, right, okay. So who is this, Johanna? This is the question, right? We've seen all this. It's a new face to Blizzard. Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Anyway, this is Adam. Now, he was basically one of the founders of MLG and then founded Esports Engine. And Esports Engine actually worked with Blizzard on doing a lot of their production for their esports stuff. So it's like an esports, well, you can see turnkey esports operations and legendary experience, whatever. It's like a production company, I think. He says this: Johanna, as the new president of Blizzard, she is thoughtful, empathetic, and a master diplomat. She will do great job there. Good call, Microsoft. Okay, so what are we getting? This is the thing, isn't it? She's not a game developer. She's a diplomat. She's going to be good at managing people. She's from Harvard University. They generally come from those top Ivy League universities, don't they? These executives. Anyway, in fact, I met somebody. I don't know who it was, but I met somebody from Harvard, and I swear it was Harvard. Maybe it was Princeton. I don't know, but maybe some Americans can help me in the comments below. This was at the Overwatch League opening weekend, the inaugural season opening weekend in the Burbank Blizzard Arena, and I was in the VIP area, and there was these people walking around with little pins, and I was like, "What the hell is that pin?" And then when I got closer, I realized it was a Harvard badge, and then I got into a very awkward conversation with this guy. He was like, "Hey, son, what do you do?" I'm telling him, he's like, "That's great for you, son. You're a self-made man." I was like, okay, I don't know who he was, but I think he was an investor. But anyway, let's move on. Crap story. Okay, so what's she done? This is the big question. Well, we go to LinkedIn, the worst website on the internet, but what does it tell us? Well, it says education at Harvard. Okay, excellent. Then we'll start from her time in the NFL. So you can see where this is going, right? So she was NFL. She was director consumer products and licensing, vice president marketing strategy and fan development, vice president club business development, and then in 2018 moves to become the commissioner of Call of Duty Esports, and then 2 years later becomes the senior vice president, head of leagues. Now, this is the head of all Activision Blizzard leagues. So she was in charge of the Overwatch League as well as the Call of Duty League. She was the big head honcho. Then gets promoted away from that to GM Call of Duty in 2021. Now, and then obviously now in 2024 becomes the president of Blizzard. This is what got me. I was like, well, why? Anyway, I found an article. So if we go over this, we can see a bit of details. It's from Game Informer. So this, again, is from 2021. And it's talking about Johanna becoming the general manager of Call of Duty. And yeah, so let's just go through this. Announced today, Johanna has taken the general manager role of Call of Duty while also maintaining leadership of Activision Blizzard's Esports League. So she was doing a dual job. The new role is effective immediately, taking over for previous general manager, who's been at the company for 19 years. So what does general manager for Call of Duty do? Well, Faries will have managerial oversight for the entire Call of Duty franchise, including live operation elements. Interestingly enough, at this time, Faries will also continue to oversee all league and team business related. Okay, so she was doing a dual role, but I presume it just became a singular role. So even this here, she was literally in charge of Call of Duty, like of everything, of all aspects of Call of Duty. She was the boss. So she was the one who was reporting to the board, I guess. And that was it. Like, she was the one making the decisions, you would assume, if she was in ultimate charge of it. And I think Call of Duty, I don't play Call of Duty, but I think it's had a pretty rough time the last few years. Anyway, Faries comes from a background with the National Football League, where she spent 12 years prior to joining Activision Blizzard, and has a number of other celebrated distinctions, including one of Fortune's coveted 40 under 40 designations as a most influential business leader. Since joining Activision Blizzard, I've had the opportunity of a lifetime to set a new dynamic vision for Call of Duty Esports, alongside an incredible, talented team of colleagues, players, owners, and partners. In the process, I've been on the front lines of the Call of Duty franchise, working closely with our studio and marketing teams to deliver breakthrough experiences for players and fans the world over. Call of Duty has made an immeasurable impact on the world of gaming and entertainment, and is a bona fide cultural phenomenon. Can't wait to help usher in the franchise into its next chapter, and to continue to unlock the power that Call of Duty holds for the future of competitive entertainment. Call of Duty remains one of the most powerful gaming brands today, commanding tremendous sales in both units sold within the realm of digital monetization and cosmetics. With Season 3 in Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War and Warzone hitting the core audience, and Call of Duty Mobile. Oh, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Call of Duty Mobile is always something we forget about when we talk about COD. We're just like, oh yeah, they've got this mobile game which probably makes more money than all the other CODs put together. They don't look like they're slowing down for Call of Duty anytime soon. That's sort of been how the ball has been rolling for years. But it's always interesting to see what's coming next from their myriad of studios' annual releases. Yeah, and then they just say, go and check out our thing. So yeah, like I think I want to go over and take a look at this post. So this is from Jason Schreier. So he may have been the first place to drop the news, although I think I've seen the news on The Verge first or somewhere. I think I actually seen it on Blizzard. I think it was Blizzard's Twitter or X page, whatever the hell, tweeting it. But the reason why I brought this up, we're not going to look at the article because it just basically recaps the fact that she's now in charge and she was at Call of Duty, is I just want to look at some of these comments here just to see what people are saying, because they're probably going to be crazy, just mad takes, and then we'll do a bit of a wrap-up as to what I think and what's going to happen going forward. So this person's not happy with the Microsoft acquisition. The more things change, the more they say the chair is the same. This is a win. Let's hope this Harvard grad doesn't plunge WoW into a mess. Blizzard's done. Okay. Can you also point out the positive of having good experience? Okay. Right on the ball after 2 years. Okay. So maybe these comments are not too great. It's going to be difficult to, not surprised. Frat boy brigade, I love it. Okay, so these comments are actually trash, so we're going to come away from this. It's not great. We're going to go back to her post and see what people are actually tweeting here. Now, I think this will probably be weighted in terms of the accounts that I follow, and definitely if you pay for verified, which I do not, they will be at the top, although I've not replied to this. But anyway, I'll digress. So, yeah, okay, welcome, congrats. Blizzard is in much need of a love injection. It was heartbreaking fancy Overwatch 2's handling. Okay, Adam, well deserved. Congratulations. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a lot of congratulations. Okay, well, let's sit back and take some stock. What does this mean? Well, when Microsoft came in, obviously Phil Spencer was making a lot of news. Well, not news, but like making a lot of moves, I guess. Okay, making a lot of noise, I think, is the best way to explain this. Yeah, Blizzard will get to make the games they want to make. We believe in Blizzard. The teams are going to be sort of let loose, and that's kind of the noise he was making. Of course, that was 3 months ago, and of course we now know that, well, that's not true at all, because there's been massive layoffs that have hit Blizzard over the last week, and we've seen from an Overwatch perspective, Overwatch PvE essentially gutted, like the entire team behind that basically chopped in half, and that's the end of that. So yeah, ruthless. And then we see Mike Ybarra stepping down as president. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mike Ibarra. I think what really soured me on him was, firstly, when he was made the co-CEO of, the co-president, sorry, of Blizzard. I forget who it was with, but it was him and a woman. She was paid less than him. And instead of him coming out going like, hey, what's going on here? He said nothing. So it was like, okay. And then he sent an email round to the, I think it was in relation to work from home, to all of the staff, basically telling them, hey, you get your ass back in the office. If you don't bother coming back. I mean, it was a bit like, what? After they'd spent all that money setting up the work from home infrastructure during COVID, to just sort of throw it away. Because, of course, this was the Activision board telling him to do this, and he went and did it. So he was seen as just a lackey. He just did what he was told, basically. And the whole thing of him sort of coming across as a gamer, but like over the top. I play games. I love games. I love World of Warcraft, all this stuff. I don't know. It was a bit much to take in. I wasn't a fan. Anyway, what we were hoping is, okay, the layoffs are bad. The president stepping down, even though I wasn't the biggest fan, not the greatest thing ever. What are Microsoft going to do? Well, what they have done is placed in charge of Blizzard somebody who is not from Blizzard. So, yeah, maybe they've got an external perspective there. But crucially, they're not a game developer. They are not somebody from Blizzard. Is this Microsoft saying, we don't want the old Blizzard the way it was run? We've looked at the management structure. We've looked at the way the company's run. We don't like this. We need to change this. And that's why we're bringing in somebody from the outside in a way, even though she's worked for Activision on Call of Duty. So she understands games in that respect and understands, hopefully, how to manage teams. Although, like I said, the quality of Call of Duty is probably debatable. But from what I understand, it's pretty bad. People are not a fan of it at the moment, although people are not a fan of anything. Let's be real. But, yeah, I think this dream of Blizzard somehow going back to its glory years with somebody from Blizzard at the helm who's been at the company for years is gone. I mean, the other way of looking at this as well, there might not have been anyone at Blizzard who could have filled the role. I mean, Blizzard have had their chance, haven't they, really? I mean, with J. Allen Brack, he came on board, it was not great. Again, sending outrageous emails around equality in the workplace, I think it was, some crazy email he sent. Anyway, he had to go, and the handling of the Blitzchung stuff, it was just... And obviously, how can I forget the massive scandal that hit Blizzard during his presidency? Although obviously that was going on for years beforehand. So I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, with this, Blizzard's got a new president. She looks to be a very how can I say it? Like she's run Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is about generating revenue at all costs. I mean, I seen some comments over on it was actually on the WoW forums on the Blizzard website. People going, we're about to see like Nicki Minaj and all of those characters that have been brought to Call of Duty just appearing in like World of Warcraft. Like, we're just going to get them appearing in Overwatch. Maybe not. I don't know. You guys, what do you think about this in the comments below? I do like to see your feedback on these things. It is a monumental shift in Blizzard, and I think it's just going to be one to watch. Although it's quite funny actually, because I've just noticed. I've just noticed. Look, the account follows me. Let's have a look at this. Hang on, following. I bet you. I mean, this account has literally just been made. Oh no, does it? Oh no, am I on a Blizzard hit list? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave the video at that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know about all this good stuff in the comments below, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.